not to speak for Desirae, but Desirae, you mentioned that your parents were divorced and now they get along great, right? So different circumstances, different
But
things.
they had restraining orders against each other back then, which I didn't know about until my adult life. But so time heals all wounds. It really does. Like, you might hate the person later on. They literally spend every Christmas together, every family birthday party with their significant others. So yeah, it's a really nice, harmonious kind of relationship now. So
Good.
what I learned, I read this book. Well, I read many books while we were, in the decision-making process and whether to separate or not. And one book was called I Love You, But I'm Not in Love with You. And I think this comes from not dating each other. Your kids come in your life, and we are both Canadian. So all of our families are in Canada. So we lived in New Jersey alone, had no support at all. And it was like, we never ever dated again. Right. It was like, that was it. So then for the last 10 years, we never went for dinner. We never did anything. So this book, what it did was, I wish I read it, 8 years ago, but it's, at least I have the insight now. But what it did is it really touched upon the languages of love. And I know there's a book called The 5 Languages of Love or whatever, but we're not all the same. And I know that everybody thinks that men are from Mars, women are from Venus, all of these books that I'm referencing, but it's so true. We think differently. And if my language of love is like receiving words of affirmation or affection, or it might be gift giving, whatever, it doesn't mean that your spouse enjoys those same things. And so if you communicate, you can learn what your spouse expects or what they want and what makes them happy. And then you tell them what makes you happy, but don't assume that they like the things that you like, because we are all individuals. We are all different. And communication, like learning the styles of communication. My ex was an avoider, just like what Drew just said. He avoided all conflict. So nothing was ever resolved. And then it bottles up. And that's not very good, because then there's an explosion at the end, which is probably what happened with us. But I really think that if you learn that, he needs 24 hours before discussing a topic you're fighting about or arguing about, then I can respect him enough, because he's my spouse, to give him that 24 hours, as long as he respects me enough that I want to discuss it after that time period when we're cooled down. So these are things that I've learned now after reading these books when it was too late. But it's a really good thing to know the style of communication of your spouse compared to your own. Because you don't have to be on the same page. You just have to respect and understand it. And then it will work a lot better.